Hey everybody! Tonight we're diving into a topic that's more explosive than a Guy Fieri fever dream war: economies. Now I know what you're thinking. John, why are we talking about something so depressing? And to that I say, because understanding this stuff is important, even if it makes you want to crawl into a bunker made of discounted Halloween candy. War, my friends, is a messy business. It's not just about bombs and bullets. It's about resources, production lines, and enough government spending to make your eyes water. Think of it like this. War is like that one friend who shows up unannounced, eats all your food, and leaves you with a massive credit card bill. But here's the kicker. War also transforms economies in profound ways. It's like giving your goldfish a monster energy drink and then wondering why it's suddenly doing laps at record speed. We're talking massive shifts in production, government intervention on a scale that would make even the most ardent libertarians sweat, and consequences that linger long after the last shot is fired. So buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to embark on a wild ride through the fascinating and terrifying world of war economies. During times of war, governments often issue war bonds to finance military operations, encouraging citizens to invest in their country's future. This leads to a surge in industrial production, with factories churning out everything from tanks to uniforms, and even everyday items being repurposed for the war effort. Communities rally together, supporting the troops and each other, creating a sense of unity and shared purpose that can be both inspiring and heart-wrenching. And when the war finally ends, the focus shifts to rebuilding and recovery, with economies often emerging stronger and more resilient, but not without significant challenges and sacrifices. So as we explore this complex topic, remember that understanding the interplay between war and the economy can give us valuable insights into our past, present, and future. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. We're diving into the nitty-gritty of what happens when a nation shifts its gears for conflict. What exactly is a war economy? It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but let's break it down. Imagine your country's economy as a car. In peacetime, you're cruising along, listening to smooth jazz, maybe stopping for the occasional latte. Everything is calm and predictable. But when war breaks out, boom! You slam on the gas, crank the radio to heavy metal, and start driving like you're in a Fast and Furious movie. The entire pace and focus change dramatically. A war economy is basically your country hitting the economic nitrous oxide. It's an intense, high-speed transformation. It's a dramatic shift from producing everyday goods and services to churning out tanks, planes, and enough ammunition to make Rambo blush. Factories that once made cars or appliances now focus on military hardware. Think of it like this. Instead of making toasters and sneakers, factories start cranking out weapons and uniforms. The entire industrial landscape changes. Farmers who once grew wheat might find themselves growing hemp for rope and parachutes. Agriculture adapts to meet the new demands. And that cosy little bed and breakfast down the street, it might just get turned into a makeshift hospital. Civilian spaces are repurposed for military needs. War economies are all about prioritizing military needs above everything else. The focus is singular and intense. It's like that time you had a hot date and rearranged your entire schedule and even considered wearing pants with an actual button. Everything else takes a back seat. Everything gets geared towards winning the war, even if it means sacrificing things we take for granted in peacetime. The entire society mobilizes, from the factories to the farms, to ensure victory. Now let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine of a war economy. It's a complex machine with many moving parts, all working towards a singular goal. First up, we've got government spending. And trust me, things get wild. The scale of expenditure is unprecedented, reaching levels that would be unimaginable in peacetime. Remember that friend who blows through their paycheck in a weekend? Governments at war make that look like responsible budgeting. They spend like there's no tomorrow because, in a sense, there might not be. They pour money into the military like it's a bottomless pit, buying weapons, supplies, and, of course, paying soldiers. The sheer volume of resources allocated is staggering. But it's not just about spending money, it's about controlling it too. Financial regulations become stricter and every penny is accounted for. That's where things like rationing come in. Rationing ensures that essential resources are distributed fairly and used efficiently. Remember when your parents told you to eat your vegetables because there are starving children in Africa? Well, in a war economy, the government basically tells everyone to eat their vegetables because we need those resources for the war effort. It's a matter of national survival. Everything from food and fuel to metal and rubber gets rationed. These materials are critical for maintaining the war machine. People get by with less, making do and mending clothes until they practically disintegrate on their bodies. Resourcefulness becomes a way of life. It's all hands on deck, and nobody's safe from the long arm of government control. Every aspect of life is regulated to support the war effort. And don't even get me started on industrial transformation. The shift is monumental and happens almost overnight. Factories that once made bicycles are now churning out fighter jets. The speed and scale of this transformation are nothing short of miraculous. Car manufacturers become tank-building behemoths. The entire industrial landscape is reshaped to meet the demands of war. It's like that time you tried to bake a cake and accidentally created a sourdough monster that took over your kitchen. The chaos is real, but so is the ingenuity. Everything gets repurposed for the war effort. The entire nation pulls together, transforming industries and lives in the process.